Good morning. This is Sister Addie coming back with you. I was teaching about forgiveness, my last segment. Now I am on love. I would like to let you know that love is very important. It's part of His commandment. I just thank the Lord that I can share what He has given me to tell you. And when God tells us to do something in His word, He means what He say, because if you don't do and obey God, you don't want to miss eternity to heaven and have no love in your heart and go to hell. First of all, Jesus said, love Him with all your heart, soul, and mind. As I was going through the scriptures, I was thinking about some things. First, you got to love Jesus with everything you got, to have His character and His nature of how to love. Because God was concerned about souls. That's all He's concerned about. And we got to be concerned about souls, how we treat people, how we supposed to love people in this last day and time that we're living in. The same thing He said back then, He's saying it now. Matthew 22:36 through 39.
Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
This is the first great commandment. Love thy neighbor. First, you got to love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and mind. And then you got to love your neighbor as you love yourself, like you love yourself. Because that's His first commandment. And He said the greatest gift of all was love. We have to love one another. We have to appreciate one another. And we got to, love is something that we really want to go and do. Because in our hearts, we feel like if somebody do me wrong, or my parents did me wrong, or my sisters and brothers did me wrong, and I can't love them. But you got to love them. Even the people in the church, you got to love them. Just like Jesus said, you don't want to do yourself no harm. Why would you want to do somebody else some harm? Jesus loves us every day. We do things every day, and He forgives us if we repent and don't do it again. But we do things every day. We feel like, I'm not loved. Don't nobody love me. But do we love Jesus? Like He said, love Him with all our heart, soul, and mind. Because if you don't have Jesus in your life, you can't love like Jesus loved. And that's the bottom line. He said, the love of many don't wax cold. The love is not even in the body of Christ no more. Everybody is for themselves. There's no love. If God didn't love us, where would have been if He hadn't went to the cross and died for our sins? We wouldn't have made it. So He told me in hell that love is the great. He said, what's the greatest gift of all? I said, love. He said, people don't have time for people. They go to church and they go back home. That's what He told me. And they do the same thing over and over again. All they care about is self. All they care about, I went to church. It was so many people dressed up in hell and going to hell. And I was walking with them, and I stood at the door of hell. And the Lord was showing me when people was walking in hell, how they didn't love. And they didn't care about people. All they cared about was they self. They didn't care about the lost being saved. They didn't care about his commandment. We can read the word all day long, but it sure got to be in the heart. We got to want what God wants and love what God loves. And we got to hate what he hates. Love is something telling people what's right. That's another love. We tell people what's right. A lot of people get offended. And that's why a lot of people do what they do, because I don't want to lose my best friend. I don't want my children to get mad at me. I don't want the preacher to get mad at me. I don't want the church folks to get mad at me. So you're going to let people go to hell because you don't want to tell them the truth? We even got to tell our children the truth. That's love. If you're going to let me be destroyed because you don't want to tell me what's right, I may get mad, but it's good. It's good. It's good for you. You don't get mad. You ain't gonna think about it. Because God will call you out. He calls us out all the time and let us know and warn us about a lot of things because he loves us. He said, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither when you rebuke to him, whom the Lord loveth, he chasten. And that's why God was showing me in hell that love, that's one of his commandments. You can overlook it all day long. You can be mad at somebody all day long. But you got to love us. God put up with our mess all the time. And he's still reaching out his hand all day long to a rebellious house. He said, I reach out my hand all day long to a rebellious house. Come unto me and let me change your life. That's why God is not pleased with the church. Because we said we know the word. We got to live this. I got to live this. It's easy for me to tell somebody else something. It ain't doing myself. Because love will hide a multitude of faults. I don't care what nobody do. Sometimes your children get on your nerves so bad. But you love them. But you'll do what you can for them. And sometimes you can go too far with that. And when God said back up. Because we can have that selfish love. I don't want them to go through this. I don't want this to happen to them because it happened to me. When you let somebody go through something, sometimes God may not even tell you to even do nothing. Just pray. God have told me this woman, she didn't have some money, and I borrowed some money from the credit union. And I was supposed to help her, but I did. And the Lord said, I didn't ask you to help her. See, God was showing love to her and let her know that I didn't ask you to help. You're going to be God. I'm God. He was the one was letting her go through this. God let us go through things because he loves us and he wants us to get it right with him. He wants us to see our faults and our mistakes. But when we minister to somebody, we got to show them love. We got to treat them like we want to be treated, about love. Love is very powerful, just like forgiveness is powerful. Love is very, very powerful. Because it's just like in 2 Corinthians, the scriptures was saying, I think it's 13. But when people say, I feed the poor, Lord said, you may give your body to be burned. He said, but if you don't have no love, it profit you nothing. If you don't have no love, you can do all these things. Feeding the poor, giving your body to be burned, because it ain't coming from the heart. You just doing something. And people will wear themselves out. I'm feeding the poor. Lord said, where the love at though? Where the love in your heart at? Let me tell you something. A lot of these church folks, we get in a place where I'm doing this from the Lord, and I'm doing that for the Lord. I'm feeding the people. I'm feeding this. But God said, you didn't do it from the heart, though. He said, charity. That means love. He said, don't profit you nothing. If you don't do it from the heart, you feeding the people. You just beating the wind and just doing something, wearing yourself out, feeding the people, because it ain't coming from your heart. You just doing something to be seen by man or to be recognized. This is what I do. Be like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Lord, I pay my tithe more than anybody else. Lord, I do this more than anybody else. Ain't nobody here to clean the church but me. Ain't nobody going to see the sick but me. Ain't nobody going to the hospitals but me. Jesus said, if you ain't did it from the heart, you didn't do nothing anyway. Because it got to be love. If you love somebody, just like Jesus said love, you'll go there. I love you, brother. I'm here for you, sister. What you need. I didn't even know you was coming today. But the Lord sent me. And you ain't supposed to talk about what you do for people. And we bad about doing that. I did this here, and this is the way they treated me. Jesus said, now you know how I feel. But it's no excuse. We got to love. We got to love them that don't love us. And we got to pray for them. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20.
If a man say, I love God, and hated his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen?
Oh, we can say all day. We can just get into church and get on. Oh, I just love you, sister. Find somebody and give them a hug and say you love them. It ain't in your heart. Sometimes we go by things what people tell us to do. But God said it got to be in the heart. When we love, you can feel it. When you hug somebody, you can feel it. When they hug me and they can't feel nothing, the love ain't there like it need to be. And I asked the Lord, and I'm praying, Lord, help me to walk in love, to walk in forgiveness. Because if you ain't got the love, that's a fruit you got to have. If you ain't walking in love, Jesus said, that's the whole thing. So I just want to tell you that God know when we don't love. And if you can't love, you're not gonna make it with Jesus. Hell will be eternity for us. Hell, and I don't want to go to hell. And I ask the Lord, help me to walk in love. And God know when we love him. And he know when we love more than we love him. You can say you love God all day, but God know the heart. He said, people praise me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. He said, pray for your enemies. He said, go and want to hurt them or talk about them or they should have did this to me. Jesus, if Jesus had to say all that, what we say, he would never went to the cross because he knew what they're going to do to him. He never went. And we're supposed to lay down our lives for people every day in the spirit realm. Love is telling your brother the truth, because if you love people, we have to tell them the truth. If Jesus said, tell that brother this and that, if you don't tell him, his blood will be on your hand. And you talking about you love him. You love him just enough to send him to hell if he don't come to Jesus. And I don't care if you're in the church. This is Sister Addie. You have a blessed day. If the Lord's will to get back with you.